Big day. We're back at it. Fresh off of a deload, which I didn't film. Prep for the meet starts in earnest today. I was looking at the program. I didn't really have time to. It was an awkward time period in between, so I figured I'd just jump into the prep program. So what I'm going to do is run the first 9 weeks with the deload in the middle, and then after another deload, when you're supposed to be doing the test on week 9. We're just going to run week 6, 7, 8, and then 9 is test week or meet week. So we'll stay in a higher intensity context for a little bit longer, which I think is probably good. I am not 100% where I wanted to be in terms of fitness. You know, sleep is just terrible. But at the end of the day, at a certain point, the rubber hits the road. So we're going to see what we get today. Top set of 3 on squats, 225. And then I'm going to do 2 back down sets, 195 for 6. It's written as 3 by 8, but my volume tolerance is nowhere near that on the best of days. So I'm going to do a little bit more warming up, see how we feel. I'm also dealing with some type of tension in my shoulder blade or pinched nerve or something. And that just doesn't feel great. But we'll figure it out. Just doing the best we can. That's the motto. I was really hoping to come in with a bit more energy today. But alas, our daughter was not terrible last night, but you know, she's a baby. So even on good nights, there's still some wake ups and some attention being needed, which is great. It's good to be needed. It's good to be wanted. But at the same time, when you have a quote unquote big day in the gym, kind of want to get as much sleep as possible. Whew, that's life, you know? That is life. So the heaviest I went last block, 215 for a double, I think. Maybe it was a triple, I don't remember. But I felt that was enough of an indicator that I'm, you know, as close to back as possible. I'd say I'm like 85%. My weight's not coming off the way that I want it to, so I need to increase my daily movement, I think. I'm just not moving around as much since I stopped in-person training. Like in the gym, I was moving around a ton, and I didn't calculate that into my deficit. So I think I just need to really, you know, set 10,000 steps on my watch and just hit that every single day. And then I've been doing some incline walking for my cardio, just like low, steady state stuff on rest days. Because my cardio fitness, ever since the sickness, it's just bad. Like my resting heart rate jumped up a bunch of, I think I'm at like, at my best, my resting heart rate's around like 62, 63. Right now it's around like 73, 74. So, you know, I think that's a combination of not being cardiovascularly fit and also the sickness. So all these things need to be addressed. It's hard to address all of them at once, but I'm a glutton for punishment. I hate this rack. That felt pretty good. You know, a little creaky, a little cracky, but that's what the warm-ups are for. I'm trying to do triples for this one and the next one, and then just a single. This is 225. This is a 25 kilo bar, so it's just 4 reds. So when I measure out the warm-ups, I usually just go red, 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 and then I'll do probably throw a yellow, maybe a blue actually. If you get close to it, just as a single, just to kind of prime what's going to feel like on my back more so than anything else. At that point, I'm warm. I just want to psychologically know, because I haven't touched that weight in a long time, what it's going to feel like. Yeah, see already. That shoulder blade. It's feeling pretty light. It's just dealing with that. It's like a pinch when I get into position. So I just kind of gotta overwrite that mentally and then just go for it, because it doesn't hurt while I'm squatting. Just that initial. I'm interested to see how that feels with bench. That second one felt pretty good. So we'll see if that carries. Throw the belt on for this one. I lowered my rack out one to try and get a little bit more of a like half squat out of the rack, and it feels good. I really like basically mimicking my brace, my everything basically on the unrack. I find that it helps kind of prime what's to come. I think a lot of people get in a ton of trouble with their squat just from the unrack. They approach it without intention. They just think, okay, I need to get the weight out of the rack and then I can squat. But in honesty, the squat starts at the unrack. If you're in a bad position at the unrack, you're not gonna reposition with 500, 600 pounds on your back. So the position has to be perfect, the brace has to be perfect, the walkout has to be perfect, and then the squat will follow from those factors. So address your walkouts if you're having trouble with squat. Could be an easy fix. So funny, I do the whole setup rant and then my setup was bad. Bar was too far back on my back. That just goes to show, just because I talk about this stuff for a living doesn't mean that I do it perfectly. Obviously not. Perfect doesn't exist in this game. It's just approaching perfection as much as you can, basically. All right, one more warm up. Honestly, I feel pretty good for how bad I felt coming into the gym. All right, we're just gonna hit a single here. Everything feels okay. I'm gonna try and really get my setup right so that I can practice what I preach. All right. This is gonna be something. I've been trying to standardize my rest times, because if you've been following for a minute, you know the last time that I competed was a while ago now, but I had a really hard time with the flight length and like staying warm and staying engaged, because when I'm in charge of the workout or when I'm in charge of my own time, I'm moving pretty quick. I don't take a lot of rest time. I just like to kind of keep things going and get through it. But the meet doesn't run on my schedule. So one thing that I've been working on is lengthening my rest times out and trying to stay mentally locked in and engaged, especially in the heavier sets. When I'm doing accessory stuff, I kind of still burn through, but for this, I need to take my time. So I've been, just 3 minutes right now. That'll probably push further out to like 5 minutes, closer and closer we get. All right, let's do it. sloppy, but not heavy. Sloppy though. Sat too far back on my heels on that second rep, I believe. Got a little bit off balance, but that'll come with repetition at the heavier weights. Pretty happy with that. All right, back off to the volume. Pain-wise, felt okay. Watching that back, I'm pretty happy with that. That's a great starting point. Remembering what it felt like, remembering, you know, that it was a little sloppy, technically. I'm very happy with how that moved. It's a good foundation. Still a lot of work to be done. Oh my God, I can't talk. But it is a good foundation for our squat. If the goal is 600 in a meet, that's the bare minimum of where we need to start. So. That's pretty good too. 6 reps. A lot of fun. You know, I've always struggled with rep work. Anything about like 4 or 5. As you can tell, I'm winded big time. But I've come to a realization, in order to get better at rep work, you need to do rep work. I tried outside cardio interventions, higher rep work on my accessories. If you want to get better at doing rep work on the big 3 lifts, practice. I don't know why my brain was like, it'll carry over. There's probably a little bit of that carryover. But I understand, to get better at heavy work, heavy singles, you got to practice heavy singles. So I don't know where the disconnect came in there. But not to look too far forward, but the program that I'm doing after the meet really has a lot of rep work in it. Kind of like how I did 70s powerlifter. So I'm going to try and learn my lesson again and just try and get better at it, because I do think that there's a place for it. If not directly correlated to powerlifting or to your 1 rep max strength, which I think there is, just to not be so out of breath after a set, to be able to, you know, actually train for longevity rather than just strength, which is something that when you're in it, when you're in the sport and you're really just working for that number, that high, heavy number, your brain can't really think about the future. But have a kid. The future will be in your lap. 1 more set of 6. Then we're moving on to bench. Oh, these longer rest times. Really something I gotta get used to. I never thought 3 seconds would be longer. I guess I just got into the habit of going super fast. And now I can't really break it. I can, but it's not in my nature right now. All right. Still feeling pretty good. Stay locked down. Woo. Very nice. Hard, but not insane. I'd say that's probably right about where we want to start week 1. But we'll see. Fatigue has really been a huge problem for me. I guess fatigue accumulation. You know, I can do it 1 week, but can I do it over a stretch of 4? With the way I've been sleeping and eating. The eating's on purpose, but the sleep not so much. You know, will I be able to sustain it? It's a big question. That's kind of why I did the bridge block, whatever, before jumping right in. But even still, this is going to be a challenge. And that's the way it should be. I want it to be a challenge. No doubt about that. But my ego doesn't want to get injured. You know, I don't want to fail that challenge. But that's a lesson I've been trying to learn for a long time. If you try and fail, it's not actually a failure. It's just a learning experience. Human beings are so wired against failure, especially failure in front of the tribe, you know, in front of a large group, that I just have to continue to remind myself. I want it to be a challenge, and I want to rise to that challenge. Ooh. I didn't think we'd get to the rambling part of this vlog series right away, did you? Well, that's just where my brain's at. You know? All right. I'm going to catch my breath, and then we're going to bench. Bench time. Bench is just volume today. It's prescribed 8 reps. Again, we'll see. In my mind, I'm thinking 6 to 8. So we might not get 8 every single set, but we'll go for it. Second and final warm-up, it's 125. So there's really not a great interval. As you know, don't love a ton of warm-ups. So just do this a couple times and get to it. Luckily, whatever's up with my shoulder blade doesn't seem to be causing any problems here. But we'll see as it gets heavier. Yeah, feels good. Whew. We'll see though. Squats were decently fatiguing. So I would give almost anything for a full night's sleep. Muster up a little bit of strength. It's the biggest thing that's different in a higher fatigue environment is just the intra-session energy just goes away so quickly. Like, you make it through squats, that's cool. And then by the time you get to bench, at least for me, I'm just so tired. Whew. Gotta push through. All right, happy with that. Pretty good. Shoulder blade feels good. Shoulder feels good. Checking boxes. All right, I'll film the last set. Set 2, I only got 6. like I said, stamina, staying power doesn't seem to be with me right now. But I'm happy about the structure. You know, we're not losing technically, or losing strength-wise, which is good. Sometimes it's okay to just say, you know, I'm not strong enough for this, and work towards being strong enough to do it, rather than, you know, you misgroove or whatever, or you injure yourself. Ooh. That's tough. That is tough. Whew. All right. Close grip. 3x6. So we just drop it down to 110. Oh my goodness. This is RPE based, not percentage based, so I really have no idea what an RPE7 is on close grip, but try 110. Let's see. Honestly, that's probably it after the bench. So we'll take it. Definitely a little creakiness in the shoulder. All right. In order to avoid a copyright strike, I'll talk to you when we go into the accessories. My old staple, chest supported T-bar. So you notice I'm not using straps on this. I'm not using straps on pretty much any of my back accessories for this first block because I'm switching to over-under and my grip is just not there. So oftentimes you gotta ask yourself, like, is it worth it to continue to work with straps, lose out on a lot of your deadlift grip? For me, no. So I'm going strapless on all this to hopefully try and build up a little bit of forearm strength, a little bit of grip strength that will then carry over. The other thing, I gotta get used to over-under again. You know, with hook grip, it's kind of a cheat code. If you can handle a little bit of pain, I just feel like hook grip is just so much easier, but you know, that's just my personal preference. So no straps on this. If you're struggling with deadlift grip and you're using straps for a lot of your accessories, you know, I might try for a block just to phase those out for a little bit. Just do everything with intention, squeeze, try and build a little bit more grip strength. I think it'll carry over well for you. All right, we got 10 here. Very light too. I'm starting off super light and easy with this. Yeah. I just want everything to be done with intent with these accessories because I feel like I've gotten in a mode in the past where, like I talked about with rushing through exercises, where I just don't focus on it and I lean on cheat codes or whatever. So I just want everything to be done with the intent of feeling the movement, actually being in the movement and trying to get the most out of it. So, all right, that's gonna do it. Thanks so much. You know, we're starting an exciting prep series, so if you're not subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe. I appreciate you hanging out with me. You know, this was a longer session. Holy cow. Cold outside, you know. It was one of those days where if I wasn't filming, maybe I wouldn't have made it in here as fast or with as much intention as I did. So it's always good to have you guys as a little backup. Let me know what you're training for. If you want to try this program that I'm running, TSA 9-week intermediate, click the link in my description. All that jazz. Thank you so much. Get strong, stay strong.